name is Bishan. On the other side, we got my brother Harry.
Hey everyone.
Sorry for the long wait, guys. I know you guys have anticipated this for a little bit of time, but hey, we're back. We're ready to roll, and let's get started with the NBA Finals Game 1 from last night.
Yep. What a game that was.
Yeah,
Right? The back and forth. Man, I was watching it yesterday and I thought the Knicks at the end were going to lose the series if they didn't win that game. Right? I mean, that was the game you needed to take home court back, right?
yeah, definitely.
Jalen Brunson really balled out. They needed a big game from him. They got a big second half from him. He did what he does best. He's been an MVP throughout these playoffs, and he's shutting up a lot of people. I mean, I was one of those people that said that you can't win with him being your alpha. He's too small. And he's proven everyone wrong, all the doubters thus far. And if he wins the title, it might change how NBA teams view the point guard position. They
I think you're onto something definitely with that. But I think somebody changed it a long time ago. A guy like Allen Iverson. We grew up with him, and that he kind of changed the mold as it came to be an NBA player. Back when Allen Iverson played, there was these huge guards, there was these huge forwards, and of course, you had the 7 foot centers. So I don't think Jalen Brunson's the one that's going to be changing that. Yes, he's adding to it for sure, but AI was the one I think that originally did it, and now we have Steph Curry as well. The game's definitely changing. It's changing from that big man mode into the smaller guards. It's given the ability to a lot of other players that are coming up now the ability to just work on their game as opposed to their size. It's not necessarily size anymore. It's just your game, which is great, man. I mean, that gives the ability to so many kids that are growing up right now that, you don't have to be, 10 feet tall
absolutely.
to play this game. So it's really great. I do like the way that the game is going. I'm really happy that the OKC's not in it because I just thought it was like one of those old Indian dramas that, like our mom would watch back in the day of, just something happening and everybody just said, oh my God, what happened? Yeah, Shea going down every time. I mean, it was like the air would push him over. Like it was
I think,
ridiculous.
but I also think the matchup against the Spurs for the Knicks, it favors the Knicks. They beat them in the in-season tournament. The last game in New York, they demolished them by 30 points.
Yeah, I mean,
If they had played OKC, I think OKC defeated them both times in the regular season. I think those do matter. Like I know the Knicks have now won 12 straight in the
yeah, it's
playoffs.
huge.
12 straight games.
It's all about, when the playoffs start, it's a whole new season, right? It's
Yeah.
whoever is the hottest team at that point. I mean, you could be the eighth seed coming out of either the West or the East. And if you're on a 10-game win streak, you're the hottest team in the league, right? It doesn't matter. Seeding at that point, just look at what happened last night. The Knicks were, coming in as, not home court favorites, right?
Yeah.
San Antonio had home court, and now that it's flipped after one game. Whenever you go into a series like this, you always want to steal one of the first two games, on the road. And the Knicks just came in, and they did it. So right now, the Spurs are on their back foot. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in game two. I don't think we're going to see the same Spurs team. I think they're going to come out with a crazy intensity. They're going to have
They're
to,
gonna have to. They're gonna
yeah,
have to. They have no choice at this point. I mean,
yeah.
look at Wemby. You expected more from him, but this is his first finals.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot, man. You have a whole city, a whole state, a whole fan base that's just counting on you, right? And Wemby's, forgive me of this, is he 23 or something like that? Isn't that his age? I mean, to have
I don't know. He's definitely around that
yeah,
age. Yes.
to have that much
I mean,
riding on
this is
you.
his third season in the league, and he's in the championship.
I mean, it's pretty, yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, he's been on the stage before. You got to remember, the Olympics. right?
Yeah.
For France. He's been on this big
Yep.
stage before. He's had the world's eyes on him. So I don't think the stage is too big for him. I just feel like the experience itself is the thing that's the most daunting, the most challenging. And the Knicks, they haven't been to a finals before. However, they were in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they have the experience of a team to be in these big games. So I feel like, and then playing in MSG every single night, the lights are bright, the brightest that they can be. So these guys on the Knicks, they're seasoned when it comes to games like this. So I'm excited for game two. I want to see what happens. But game one, man, that was a show for sure.
Yeah, it was a lot of back and forth. If you're a Knicks fan, you're a Spurs fan, you can feel the anxiety in that building. It was two heavyweights, right? This can go 7 games. If you're a Knicks fan, you're in New York, you haven't been there in 27 years, you haven't won a championship since 1973. That whole city's like gonna erupt.
I mean, you saw it in the last series. There's people coming
You
out
see it
from
after
all
every
over.
game.
Yeah,
Have
I
you
mean,
seen it outside? I've been outside that stadium.
yeah, yeah. No,
It gets rowdy, and
yeah,
you do not want to wear the opponent's jersey
yeah.
walking outside somewhere in New York. It's not a safe place. It is not a safe place.
I've been listening to some radio stations in New York, and they're talking about the taxi drivers, the bodega guys. I mean, there's so much division right now when it comes to New York City, with the new mayor and everything happening there. But they're all rallying around the Knicks, which is
Yeah.
which is pretty cool
Well,
to
that's what
see.
sports does, right? I mean, brings
Yeah.
everyone together.
Well, I mean, there is two basketball teams in the New York area, but the Brooklyn Nets haven't been good since
Who?
Jason Kidd
The,
was there.
who?
So, and then, in
The
football,
Jets?
the football,
The
you have
Mets?
you have the Jets and then, you have the Giants, right? So, of course, there's division there. But in my eyes, there's only one team in New York when it comes to basketball. So the Knicks doing what they're doing right now, I mean, it's pretty wild. So, yeah,
Yeah. I also want to shout out Hart on the Knicks. He played amazing. He had 15 plus rebounds, offense, defense. When they needed a play, they needed that extra effort. He was the guy making it happen. I mean, he had a steal against Wemby down the stretch, which with 1 minute, 30 seconds left, where the Spurs really needed to make something
yeah,
happen, and Wemby needed to get a bucket for that team, and he didn't.
yeah. Was that the one that it went off his foot? Is that the one you're talking about?
It went off his foot, and then and I saw Hart just take the ball, and as he did over and over in that,
Yeah,
he was relentless, and his defense on Castle, who I think is the second best player on that team and the X factor. I
hmm
mean, outside of Wemby, I know you're going to need Wemby to play well, but you're also going to need other guys to play well. Castle played well throughout that game. However, when it came down to the end, I think Hart's defense really locked in, and it bothered him
yeah.
enough to change the ending.
I think one thing that we forget whenever we talk about these kind of matchups, it's not all about the talent. You know, there might be one team, and I think clearly right now, if we had to put it pen to paper, San Antonio does have more talent on that team just because of Wemby, because of the type of player he is and the aura that he has. And I'm not saying Jalen Brunson doesn't have that, but the team in itself, San Antonio has.
Brunson has it in New York.
But yeah,
He
exactly.
has it in New York. He's the
But
king
but
of New York.
but yeah, but when we're talking about right now in this matchup, I think San Antonio is a much more I think favorite team going into last night's game. But it just takes one game to switch everything up, right? So game two's a pivotal game. I want to say it's going to be a same thing, rock'em sock'em type of game again. I think it's going to go down to the final minutes as well. But off to a great start in the NBA Finals. This is
Let me ask you
gonna
something.
be fun.
Let
Yeah.
me ask you something. if the Knicks win game 2,
Uh-huh.
are you calling for a sweep? Is this safe to say it could be
No, I mean,
over in game 4 in New York City?
it's gonna be insane to try and win games in New York, but I think it's too tough to try and sweep somebody in the finals. I mean, what was the last time I saw a sweep in the
Well, it's
finals?
probably the Lakers, right? I think when they had Shaq and Kobe.
I think the Lakers.
Didn't they? It was New Jersey Nets. Didn't they sweep them?
Yeah, I think they did sweep them, but I want to say no, that was the gentleman's sweep. But no, yeah, it's be interesting, man. So yeah, I'm excited to see it. Excited to see it.
Yeah. Have you seen ticket prices in New York
No, because I
for a
don't.
game?
I've never been to New York, so I wouldn't look at any
No,
games there.
I
So
mean, these are the most expensive tickets. Last week, the most expensive ticket for game 3 and game 4, when I saw it, was around 4,000
okay,
for nosebleeds.
it's insane.
Now, as of last night, they've gone up to 5,000
Well,
for nosebleeds.
yeah, I mean that's pretty wild. Let's uh let's switch gears a little bit here. I think that we've kind of played our hand already with the Knicks and the Spurs. So we still got game 2 coming up, so we'll have a lot more to talk about as these finals carry on. Let's switch gears a little bit. Let's jump over to the NFL. We saw some news the other day that both irked and shocked both of us, I want to say, and that is the Miles Garrett to the St. Louis
Yeah,
Rams, the St. Louis Rams
yeah,
trade. So thoughts?
yeah. Miles Garrett. Wow, who saw that coming? He just signed a massive deal, massive contract with the Cleveland Browns, quarterback level contract. I thought he was going to be there for the long term, and then I think there were some changes, and obviously the Rams pounced. I'm really surprised that that the Niners didn't. I didn't hear anything about the Niners even throwing their hat in the ring there. I mean, I'm assuming the Browns weren't just talking to the Rams; they must have been talking to multiple teams. Well, what do you think?
No, the 49ers don't have the cap space next season
Well,
to do
they
that.
have the cap space.
No, they don't. If you look at over the cap right now, which I did earlier, right now the Niners are, I think, 25th in cap space going into next season because all of their big contracts are coming due.
Trade Bosa. I mean, Bosa's about to hit
Bosa,
30 soon.
Bosa's guaranteed money.
Same age as Miles Garrett, but he's not playing at the same level.
Bosa's guaranteed money runs out at the end of the year, so it's not Bosa. Bosa's not the problem.
I mean,
So what they're trying to do is they're trying to take the 70 million that they have right now and they're trying to take it into next season. That way they don't have to do a fire sale on their players like they had to do 2 years ago. You remember that one. So that's what they're doing. I mean, yeah, if you look at it right now and you say, "Oh wow, we have 70 million and we can't pick a first round pick to save our lives." Yeah, it makes all the sense in the world. That's not the way the Niners do it. One great thing that I just saw yesterday is the 49ers had 100% attendance at their mini camp, the voluntary mini camp. And because of that, Kyle Shanahan has, he passed up next week's mini camp. He's canceled it because, the team came together for this as a voluntary mini camp, which is,
I mean, did you see the injuries last year?
yeah. But I mean, what
They need to play less. They
they've
need
got,
to play less in the
they've gotten more, they've gotten older, definitely with the recent acquisitions of Mike Evans and what's the
I
other wide
mean,
receivers, Christian Kirk. So
I mean, they do. I mean, yeah, sure. The receivers, the average age for the receivers did increase with those acquisitions. However, I mean, the defense is younger. They did, and back to the receivers. I mean, they drafted Stribling too. Was their first round pick, or not their first round pick? Was this their first round pick?
he was the first pick in the second round.
Second round. That's right.
Yeah, he was their
Yeah.
first pick, but yeah,
But yeah, let's go back to Miles Garrett. Really interesting to see what happens now. Not necessarily with Miles Garrett. We know what he's going to bring to the table. We're lucky we still have Trent Williams on the 49ers, but he's going to cause havoc for the rest of the QBs in the NFC West, including at times Brock Purdy. Now, I'm really curious to see what the media is now covering is the return of Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if Aaron Donald comes back and plays alongside Myles Garrett, I mean, you're just looking at a freaking all-star team over there, which, LA's used to. I mean, LA's got the Dodgers, they've got, the Rams, the Lakers, if they can actually figure out a way to get it together. It it's pretty wild to think about. My head kind of hurts thinking about it, to be quite honest with you. But that's just a hand they've been dealt. They've kind of figured out a way how to get star players in the door. Les Snead's favorite words are F them picks. They don't like to build through the draft as much as anybody else. They like to get proven commodities, take them in and let them work. That's not something that,
Aaron Donald is 35.
yeah, I mean, but okay, put Aaron Donald next to a 24-year-old that is 2 years removed from the draft. Who would you rather have?
When's the last time Aaron Donald played an NFL game?
The last Super Bowl. The last Super Bowl
Which was, when did they win it?
wasn't it like '03? No, no, sorry, '01 is when they won it. Sorry, '03 is his last game. 23. Sorry, 23.
23. Okay, so it's definitely been 3 years. And this is the NFL. I mean, he's not getting younger. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I I wouldn't I guess what I'm trying to say is I wouldn't necessarily be scared or in fear of the return of Aaron Donald because I don't think he's going to be the same product he was in the Super Bowl. He's not going to put that same
I
he's not
wouldn't
going to
put
be the same player.
I wouldn't put anything past Aaron Donald. But you know, I think Myles Garrett going to the Rams is a big, big deal. It's one of the biggest trades I've ever seen in my life. Not happy about it, but what can you do?
You know, I feel like the Browns could have gotten more.
Yeah, it's a possibility, but they wanted a player to come back, someone that's cost controlled, someone that
Sure.
is a plug and play player as well. And Jared Verse is that. Jared Verse, if he was traded to a lot of other teams, he could command 2 first-round picks himself
Yeah.
because of
There
the.
was
Go ahead.
yeah, go on. Finish your thought. And I got
No,
something
that's
on
it.
Jared
That's it.
Verse.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say one of the Niners beat reporters tweeted that or posted on X. The funniest thing the 49ers can do is go to the Browns and send them a trade for Jared Verse.
Oh my God, that would be hilarious. That would be insanely funny.
Game 1, Australia. He's lining up opposite of Nick Bosa
Man.
on that D line, going against the Rams.
The funniest thing would be if the 49ers just offered them a second-round pick and they took it.
That
Browns,
would be funny.
Browns doing Brown things. But speaking of trades, man, the one trade that everybody foresaw happening was the AJ Brown to the Patriots.
Yeah.
You lived in Philadelphia. You saw how that team was built, in their playoff runs and their Super Bowl run. What are you thinking about this trade for Philadelphia and then, Patriots?
Bad trade. It's a bad trade for the Eagles. They had arguably one of the best receivers, top 5 for sure, when he's playing at his best, which he hasn't done last year. We can blame the offensive coordinator, but it's gonna be a problem. They're putting a lot of pressure on Mekhi Lemon, their first round pick from USC, and their trade acquisition, Dontavian Wicks from Green Bay. They're not cut from the same cloth as AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Philly's a tough team on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. And now they just got a little bit weaker, if not a lot weaker, to be honest, because this is a gap you can't fill. Now for the New England Patriots, we saw what happened in that Super Bowl. They didn't have the playmakers on offense. Garrett, the Seattle defense is historically one of the best defenses we've seen in a long time. But facts are facts. They needed playmakers, they needed receivers, and they didn't have them. And now they've made some big deals. They've signed some good players. They've made some big trades. It's going to be a different Pats team if Vrabel gets his stuff in order.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of questions surrounding the Patriots in their offseason. The whole Diana Rossini, Mike Vrabel thing. It's kind of cringy, to be quite honest with you. I mean, some of the things that we read about, I don't have to go into any of those. If anybody wants to know what's happening, just type in Diana Rossini, Mike Vrabel. You'll get, you know, a novel's worth of things to read about.
Literature,
Yeah.
literature.
Yeah. So I don't think that the
The
Patriots.
cringiest, the cringiest rom com.
This is like Lifetime meets the
Lifetime.
the Jersey Shore. It's like Lifetime meets the Jersey Shore is what it is. Yeah, it's crazy. But you know, you're looking at the schedule for the Patriots. They got last season they had the easiest schedule of all time. And this year, the first four games that they have to play are all playoff teams. And it looks rough in the outset. And they had to wait till June to get AJ Brown. The draft was back in what, April or something, right? So, there's so much time in between. Um, AJ Brown was away from the Eagles. He wasn't training with them. The Patriots haven't had their head coach. He's been going through marital counseling. There's so many different things that are moving with the Patriots. I just don't foresee them having the similar season to last season. I feel like this is going to be a very challenging one. And the one thing that we know about AJ Brown is his team's frustrations he brings out, and he'll bring them out in the media. And if that time comes, if they're 1-3, 2-2, 0-4, you best believe, he's going to say something, and it might not be good. So, when you trade for a player like this, an all pro type of player, there's a lot more than just what's on the field that you get.
He always wanted to be a Patriot, though. Going back to the draft, when he was drafted by the Tennessee Titans, he told Mike Vrabel at the time, I wanted to go to New England. I wanted to be a Patriot. And now he's a Patriot. Yes, you're right. At 4 games down, they're 0-4. Is he going to start yapping and, go the whole diva complex, the wide receiver diva complex, start showing on the field? And you saw it in Philly.
Yeah,
The cameras were always on him. Every time he'd have a bad game, it was something sour face, kind of sitting away from
sure.
Jalen Hurts. Not there's no communication there, and you really start to see Jalen Hurts start to struggle because he was force feeding him,
Yeah.
and you cannot do that to your quarterback because your quarterback just because there's probably a plausible reason as to why you're not getting the ball. You're probably getting double teamed, or the offensive coordinator is drawing up plays for others, or it's just it'll be interesting to see. You're right. I want to ask you, do you think either of those teams, it sounds like New England's out, they won't be making the Super Bowl next year. Do you think, again, my question is, either of those teams go back to the Super Bowl?
Uh, I think in both situations, you have divisions that are pretty difficult to get through. I feel like the Eagles have a little better chance.
No, sorry, not the Eagles. I apologize. Seattle or New England?
Oh, shoot, that's a toughie. It's hard, man. It's hard to repeat the success of yesteryear, especially trying to go to the Super Bowl. I don't think either one gets back. The Eagles, not the Eagles, sorry, the Patriots are dealing with so much drama on and off the field. The Seahawks have so much turnover with, winning the Super Bowl and having to let certain players walk. The Super Bowl MVP is not there anymore. That's a big deal. I mean, people might say that it's not, and they've drafted well, and they had someone waiting in the wings. And yeah, it's true. Like they do have other players there, but when you lose a Super Bowl MVP, you lose a Super Bowl MVP. I mean, that's no small thing, right? So I don't think either one gets back. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with you. The NFC West is going to be a very tough division. You're right. The Patriots, you kind of outlined it earlier. 4 games, first 4 games, playoff teams. that's tough. There's got to be they got to have a strong training camp, New England, right? They need to gel that team, that offense. The Seattle Seahawks are, I mean, they're in the NFC West.
Yeah.
It's 49ers, it's Rams. You're playing those teams 4 times.
Yeah. I think the Rams are the favorite right now in the entire NFL.
No doubt. No
So,
doubt.
I mean,
Sam Darnold is such an interesting player. I'm thinking about this, and I've seen some X posts about the rankings in each division, and you have Stafford, no arguments about that, best quarterback in the NFC West,
yeah.
and then they have Sam Darnold as number 2 over Brock.
He was Brock's backup, dude.
He was Brock's back, exactly.
That's funny.
I know he was part of the reason the Seahawks beat the 49ers in the playoffs, but the 49ers were a team it was a hospital team. I mean, there was just a bunch, replacements.
Yeah,
their
honestly,
linebackers.
I'm surprised Keanu Reeves wasn't on the field. To be
Exactly.
honest, goodness me.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to switch gears for a second, and I got to start with this one. Jose, can you hear me? Jose, can you hear me? McGregor's coming for you. He'll do you in 2. Walking in McGregor Wonderland. You know who's coming back? Who's coming back?
The Mac.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah. It's 5 years. It's been 5 years. It's been half a decade. The UFC doesn't have anyone on their roster right now that has that type of aura. The UFC, I'm going to just go out and say it, they became prevalent and mainstream because of Conor McGregor.
Yeah. Conor pushed the UFC into an international sport. Absolutely. In my opinion.
I mean, it was. I feel like it was international before, but I could see it like adding more athletes to the mix, more interest there, where you had like wrestling, kind of isolated, and kickboxing and jiu-jitsu, but like more athletes. It brought more awareness to it, definitely. But I just think the entertainment side of things, that's what people are going for, and that's what Jake Paul has kind of figured out is. He's basically went to the Conor school of how to promote a fight, right? And you got fights happening with influencers now, and people are watching this. I mean, he brought Mike Tyson back to fight, and Netflix had the most views ever.
Yeah.
And now Conor's coming back, and this is a really big deal for the UFC and he has to win. I'm just going to go out and say that he has to win this fight.
He has to. Ferguson. I mean, it's gonna be a fun fight. I hope this thing goes a few rounds, right? And it's not like the Ronda Rousey fight and Gina Carano, and it was like freaking 12 seconds or whatever it was, and then they cried each other's arms and all that nonsense. Like it's just come on, let's get a good fight. Let's make UFC great again, please.
Yeah,
and it's just man, it's gonna be. Man, the anticipation is just, killing me because we haven't seen Conor in that octagon in so freaking long. And his last time being in there was such a disappointment, and his last few fights, to be quite honest with you. And so to see him coming back, it reinvigorates my interest in UFC. I'm not a huge UFC guy. I'll watch fights here and there of bigger, box office guys, but you're more of the bread and butter guy when it comes to UFC for sure. But this fight, it's one of those UFC fights that just an average UFC fan, the run of the mill fan is going to be like, yeah. They're going to your Saturday night is going to revolve around this fight, and it's quite a few people.
I do also want to say, and I'm willing to take bets on this, Conor's fight has more views. His UFC event has more views than UFC Freedom. That's going to be coming up here on June 14th.
Yeah,
10 days.
I think
And that's a massive card.
I
That's a massive card.
I wouldn't put past, this is that's a once in a lifetime thing that's going on, at the White House. I mean, that I don't think anybody's ever had access like that at the White House. And Dana White's a huge supporter of, the president. And, they have a great friendship and all that stuff. So you get it. You understand why it's
But
happening.
Connor's the draw.
But Connor's the
Connor's
draw.
the
You're right.
draw.
Connor's the draw. I mean, it's just crazy. It's gonna be wild, man. Whoever's out there listening to us, you might not agree with everything that we say, but this
Yeah.
fight, this Conor McGregor, Tony Ferguson, it's just gonna be so much fun, man. You know, get
It's Josh Holloway, not Ferguson. See, you're so
it's
into the fact
Holloway.
that
My bad. Tony. I don't
no,
know.
Tony Ferguson his career's over.
Yeah, sorry, Holloway. My bad.
I mean, he's no, you're
man.
fine. You're fine.
Ferguson got annihilated in the last fight. I think that's why I was thinking.
It's
about
funny.
him.
Do you know what's funny is
Yeah, I know it's kind of stinks, but yeah, but I mean that's the thing is like you got to make sure that your focus says Connor, right? Because last few fights that he's had, he's in the draw, and
I mean, I think that last fight where he broke his leg.
yeah, was it the Poirier fight?
Poirier fight,
right?
yeah. I think that fight was just a freak accident, right?
It was tough.
And he's needed the time to recover, and he's got 2 more fights left here on his deal with the UFC. So
Yeah,
after that, he's a free agent. See what happens. I
just
think he's probably going to go the Jake Paul route. I think
just
he might.
just as he's got 2 more fights. We have 2 more minutes on this. You got some closing thoughts here. Anything that we didn't get to that we need to get to next time, or anything that you wanna touch
Dude,
on?
I'm just super excited about the summer. I think you got some. Obviously, we talked about the UFC. Tons of matchups fights to watch. It's not gonna be a boring summer at all. You got the NBA Finals, which is a heavyweight. It's 2 heavyweights. It's fun. It's exciting. If you're a fan of each of those teams, I know it's going to be and then you got the biggest thing in the last. It's been 4 years. It's the World Cup.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a jam-packed summer. World Cup is starting. It right after the NBA Finals, World Cup starting. The NHL Finals are going on right now between the Golden Knights and the Hurricanes. Game 2 is tonight at 5:00. Game 1 was an instant classic. This weekend, you have the Monaco Grand Prix, which is just the race of races. I mean, it's not the most energy packed or like the most takeovers and all that stuff, but it's a very technical race. So it's just going to be a lot of fun. So whoever's up at 6 a.m. on Sunday, make sure you tune into that one.
Yeah. We didn't even discuss Champions League, man. We didn't even talk PSG.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to touch on PSG. Taking the Champions League back to back. Honestly, and thank God they beat Arsenal because Stan Kroenke owns Arsenal, and that guy doesn't need any more championships. Stan Kroenke, who you don't know, owns the Rams as well. So we don't need to talk about that. But yeah, man, this summer there's so much going on.
Are we watching? Are we going to a World Cup or? Are we going to a World Cup game?
Yeah,
are we gonna come up to Santa Clara? Are we gonna?
We'll see what we can swing. Definitely, if we'll have to do a little shout out or something if we end up doing one of those matches. This can be interesting, guys. So with all the crazy stuff that's going on in life right now, like us, if you're a sports fan, it's a nice escape, right? To be able to take the day-to-day stresses and kind of put them aside for a few hours and be able to enjoy something, with friends, with family, whatever it might be. We appreciate you guys tuning in to see us and following us on each one of the platforms that we're on, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, everything that you guys follow us on. We really appreciate it, and we couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. And look forward to the next episode. Maybe this weekend.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get it going. Thank you guys. And this was episode 21, I believe. So
yep.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.
Take care.